Seriously, one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen in my entire life. Hello friends, welcome to this week's landscape photography vlog. In this episode, I witnessed some beautiful monsoon formations on Desert Playa and capture a powerful lightning storm. I really hope you enjoy the video. So I'm out here on a pretty nice dry lake bed, nice playa. And what I love about photographing these landscapes are you get these beautiful crack formations if you get close up to the ground. And right now we have some really nice billowing storm clouds over the playa. Just kind of waiting until the sun gets blocked by a storm cloud so that I can get that nice diffuse lighting on the cracks. You can see the sun, it's almost getting blocked by a cloud, but while I wait, I'll kind of walk you through what I'm doing here. So as far as my settings go, it's just f11 and ISO 100, shooting at about a 50th of a second. I basically just have the shutter speed wherever it needs to be to properly expose the clouds and a little bit of the foreground. But I do need to focus stack the shot because I'm so close to the ground. So really, I'm just doing a shot out there at infinity for the clouds, and then I just move the focus point down towards the horizon a bit, and then I just kind of make sure all of the corners are in focus, so the bottom two corners to the right, and then also just one image for the middle. So I'd say I'm taking about 5 to 6 different focus points, and I'm hoping I don't need to stack these shots, but again, it's always good to have the extra frames because, as I've said this before in many vlogs, nothing is worse than when you get back to Lightroom, realize you don't have a frame that you needed, and all it would have taken was an extra second to click that extra focus point. Looks like the cloud is almost hidden here, and these storm clouds out in the distance are looking so beautiful. So here's that first shot that I was working on, and this one was more of a test shot than anything else, but I loved those formations down in the foreground, although the background was a little less dramatic than it felt like while I was out there on the playa. But as that sun started to drop on the horizon, those storm clouds just got more and more dramatic. So in the meantime, I decided to switch to time lapses, and here's what I shot. What do you have set up, Nick?
Well, I'm trying to get low here because I want, now that we don't have shadows in our frame because of the sun, I'm trying to get low enough to where we can actually see some of the textures on this playa. Feels really awesome on my bare knees, by the way. Really good. So I'm mostly just doing it for the feel, for the texture. So I'm doing a quick focus stack before I start my time lapse. That way when I get started and I shoot my time-lapse frames, if I do have a favorite moment, I can blend it with the focus stack foreground and I can get it sharp from front to back. Because once I start my time-lapse, that's not really going to be an option anymore. So that's what I'm doing, and that's it. That's it.
So, oh, what? Hold on. We've got a tripod malfunction. Tripod malfunction.
I think there's pills for that.
Yeah, the reason I'm going low is just to get a little closer to the cracks here. The higher you are from the cracks, the more they disappear and this just turns into dirt. If you can get your camera about a foot off the ground or even a little lower, you start to see these nice leading lines of the cracks. And then we have this awesome storm cloud in the distance. Right now I'm just doing my focus stack at f11, grabbing all the different corners, making sure the middle is in focus. I'm a little bit brighter on the exposure. I'm actually blowing out the clouds slightly, but then I'm gonna bump my shutter speed down a bit. And now one shot for infinity, those clouds in the distance. I think I'm gonna play around with some different exposures and different perspectives. I think a pano might actually be nice because there's this beautiful billowing cloud up above me. And I think it might be pretty nice to get that in a shot as well. It's a little overwhelming. There's a lot of cool stuff happening right now. So this panorama right here represents about 180 degrees of view, maybe a little bit less, but it actually took 18 wide-angle photos to make up this one image. So I started out from the left side, panned my camera a little bit to the right, shot another image, and continued to do that, and I actually did 2 rows of horizontal shots to make up this wide field of view. Just incredible. Right now. It doesn't even look real. Just such a diverse range of colors and textures to play with. I've just been focusing on different time lapses, still images. The wind is starting to pick up. It's getting darker out here. It's just really incredible to be out here witnessing this on the playa. So here's a shot at sunset that I felt worked really well. I got as close to the foreground as possible and did about 5 different focus points to get that foreground in focus. But I really loved that formation in the cloud and that burst of warm light that you can see up towards the middle of the cloud. This is probably the most dramatic color that we saw during this sunset, but the evening just got more and more dramatic. So it's getting better and better just after sunset. And right up here, we got some awesome thunderstorms that are starting to get more active. And so all of us are pretty much frantically setting up time lapses to, be positioned in the right angle for when the lightning starts really coming in. But we just saw some pretty big bolts, so got a time lapse rolling of this thunderstorm in that direction. The only thing is that thunderstorm is also traveling right towards us, so we may have to cut our time lapses short. We'll have to see. This image ended up being my favorite of the playa and definitely my favorite of the evening. That lightning strike in the clouds is just so dramatic. You can see the rain pouring down in the middle of the horizon, and I felt like that it was a perfect place to draw your eye into the composition. As with all the previous images, I did have to focus stack this foreground, and then I did the time lapse for the lightning strike out there in the distance. So after shooting that image in time lapse, the rain got to us and we had to get off the playa pretty quick. But we found a nearby vantage point where we could really see the thunderstorm and the lightning coming into frame. And what was great about this setup is it allowed us to do some telephoto shots where we could really get some close-up images of the bolts. So this is definitely my favorite lightning strike of the evening, and I just love the shape of this one. It kind of resembles some sort of lightning god or figure, and you can see the arms kind of raised up, almost like some sort of celebration. I'd be curious to know which image from this video is your favorite. Did you enjoy the playa shots, or maybe some of the lightning strikes, or maybe the playa shot that has the lightning strike? Go ahead and let me know in the comments. As always, I really appreciate you watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. So here is a lavalier mic. It goes right here because I think the wind is going to pick up quite a bit, and my mic on the camera right now isn't good enough. In the wind, you just hear all this choppy noise. It doesn't sound good, so I'm hoping I can kind of block away from the wind and talk into the camera.
Get some of that patented Michael Shanbloom audio quality.
Soft spoken audio is what we're going for here. I just kind of clip that there, and then when you walk around town, you can be like, hey, look at my beautiful shirt. Oh, and then it drops right in the dirt. That wasn't supposed to rhyme, but it did. And then you can just walk around town and go to restaurants, and people are like, what is on your shirt? And you're like, I don't know, it's probably a caterpillar. I don't know, just let them hang out there. I'm not really sure.